So I was what you'd call a dramatic child. I would play pretend for hours. The fireplace hearth was my stage, and in my world, I always won the Oscar or the title of Miss America. I grew up in a loving family in New Jersey. I would put costumes and makeup on my younger brother and make him participate in my neighborhood talent shows, my own personal version of Donnie and Marie. I always wanted to be the center of attention, but it wasn't my fault, I said. I was a middle child and born a Leo. Come on. But it was more than that. I craved emotion. I was fascinated by people on TV having epic scenes filled with rage and sorrow. I loved all the feelings, the ups and the downs. I loved throwing myself hopelessly onto the bed wailing. My parents did not appreciate this. They thought that this could not be normal, that something could be wrong with me. Was this just typical childhood tantrums, or could it be something worse? What I eventually figured out and was able to express to them was that I loved feeling deep emotion. And as much as I would wallow in deep sadness, I would also experience an immense sense of joy and love. I saw my emotional range as a gift, not a weakness. I was addicted to emotions. I loved to play with them and experience them. Thank goodness I found a place where my emotions were welcome in 5th grade G&T drama class. And as I got into high school, I was grateful that the other thespians got me. I often wished that teen angst could be explained through a song and a well-choreographed basketball dance. Maybe it was coming from a supportive family or having fellow drama nerd friends, but I managed to navigate high school and college without ever succumbing to using drugs. I saw them as my enemy. I couldn't understand why some people would want to numb any part of their feelings. Life is filled with such wondrous emotion. After getting my degree in theater at a little place called Cranert, I made a short stop in New York City and then packed my bags and headed to Hollywood. I was living the dream. If the dream meant that you worked 2 jobs to pay your bills and occasionally got to go to a voiceover audition. But I found friends and I found theater classes to work my craft, and I was out there hustling. I wanted to be in the world where my emotions would be appreciated and maybe even get me a paycheck. But like any good single girl, I longed for true love, the ultimate playground for emotion. Sure, my dating life had plenty of emotion. There was an alcoholic, a narcissistic, cheating bastards. So remember when I had that brief stint in Urbana? Well, I met a boy there, and after we dated briefly, I told him the one thing that all boys want to hear. He would remain in the friend category for almost 16 years. I mean, I had things to do and a life to lead. I was out there looking for my epic love story. But he remained patient and persistent until one day I realized that this boy, who was my absolute best friend, would in fact be an amazing life partner and father to my children. And I found that what I had been looking for had really been right under my nose all along. We had the all-night conversations, dreaming of what our lives would be like. I got the full on-the-knee proposal. And you want to know what that kind of love feels like? Yes. When you finally realize that the man is the one, it is as if the clouds parted and the angels sang, and I knew that I was meant to be with this man for the rest of my life, to grow old with him and to share laughter and tears and all that life has to offer with him. There was only one problem. I lived in Pasadena, California, and he lived in Champaign, Illinois. So I had a decision to make. Do I go on living the dream without love or give it all up? Well, what would any emotionally driven, passionate person do? So I chose love. There were sacrifices, yes, but it's not every day you get to say I do to your best friend. So after a few years of newlywed bliss, we were ready to start our family. You want to talk about all the emotions life has to offer. 2 miscarriages and 2 beautiful girls later, and our hearts were well worn with the roller coaster. And I chose to have them naturally without drugs so I could experience the entire time I was becoming a mother. And as any new mother can tell you, raising little people comes with its own set of emotional challenges. I see in my daughter the same sensitive, passionate, emotional creature that I was. I am blessed to be her mother because she teaches me so much about deep, raw emotion, and I get to use what I learned on my journey to help her process her emotions. Motherhood and life are full of emotions. It's what makes us human. It's what connects us. I've come to believe it's what guides us to where we are meant to be. We are drawn to the things that make us feel good and hopefully avoid the things that make us feel bad. So now, a few years into motherhood, there are still ups and downs, but we are mostly settled in as a family. We truly enjoy each other's company and bring out the best in each other. Not long ago on my journey, I had an epiphany that it was all for a greater purpose. My drama queen inner child, my fascination by TV, films, theater, music, dance, and art, anything that moves us and makes us feel alive. I learned to find ways to share my passion with others. As an ordained minister, I get to officiate weddings and be a part of other couples' love stories. What a gift to share in their happily ever after. I get to help them find the words to express the kind of joy you only feel on a day like this. I found a community full of opportunities to play and create through theater and storytelling. I have the honor of directing women who bravely stand on the stage and share their personal stories at That's What She Said, which has grown into a powerful event of women supporting women in our community. I found ways to celebrate emotion and empower others in my work with local organizations. As president of Junior League of Champaign-Urbana, I proudly led a dedicated group of women who wanted to develop themselves as community leaders and affect change. I launched my own company, He Like Consulting, where I channel my theater background and my business experience teaching improv-based workshops to professionals to improve their presentation skills and build confidence. And while I like to think that if I had stayed in California, I'd be spending my days on a movie set sharing my emotional prowess, it's more than likely I'd be working an office job waiting for my agent to call, which wouldn't be very emotionally fulfilling. Emotions are the stuff of life. So pay attention to how you are feeling today and embrace your emotions. Thank you.